Welcome to the Review Network. In today's review, we're diving into ukessays.com, not just as a service, but as a turning point for how one Gen Z student rethought the entire process of writing essays. The story starts the way many do: panic. A tough assignment drops, the deadline looms, and the blank page becomes the scariest thing in the room. Our student admitted they stared at the essay prompt for hours, convinced there had to be one perfect answer, the magic formula their teacher was secretly waiting for. But here's the problem. Essays aren't multiple-choice tests. There isn't one correct bubble to fill, and that realization only clicked after ordering a model essay from ukessays.com. What came back wasn't the answer. It was an answer. A clear, structured, well-supported argument, but one of many possible directions. And that's when the lesson landed. There is more than one right way to approach your work. Too many students treat essays like code-breaking exercises, trying to guess what's in the teacher's head. But in reality, strong essays show how you think. Take the Treaty of Versailles question. Was it fair? You could argue yes, citing the destruction caused by World War I. You could argue no, pointing to the economic collapse and the road to World War II. Or you could say the principle was fair, but enforcement failed. All three are valid. What matters isn't the side you choose. It's whether you build a logical case with evidence. UK essays helped the student see that the process of reasoning matters more than the final stance. Another misconception is that teachers expect students to echo their own opinions. That's false. What most actually want is a clear argument, evidence to support it, logical flow, and clear communication. That's exactly what rubrics reward. If you've ever seen a grading rubric, you'll notice it rarely says, "agree with the teacher." It says things like, "uses evidence effectively," or "demonstrates critical thinking." The student realized that two essays with totally different answers can both earn top marks, as long as they show understanding, structure, and reasoning. We've all been taught the 5-paragraph formula: intro, 3 body paragraphs, conclusion. It's a useful beginner's tool, but it isn't a law of nature. Depending on the topic, other structures may work better. A timeline for historical analysis, a theme-based layout for exploring big ideas, a compare and contrast format for weighing opposing perspectives. UK essays showed the student multiple models, each shaped to fit the argument. That flexibility was an eye-opener. Good essays bend the structure to serve the point, not the other way around. This was another breakthrough. Many students think sounding formal, stiff, and robotic makes them academic. But the reality is, authenticity stands out. Some writers are storytellers, others lean on data and logic. Some explain ideas with vivid examples. What counts is clarity and support. When the students saw how UK essays writers adapted tone without losing professionalism, they understood their own voice could belong in the essay too. That doesn't mean writing casually or without discipline. It means being confident enough to let your perspective shape the argument. Here's the trap: writing the most obvious essay possible because it feels safe. Safe may pass, but it rarely shines. Bold essays, those that question assumptions, highlight neglected evidence, or frame problems differently, stand out. Teachers notice. The UK essay's example essay did just that. Instead of recycling the usual points, it introduced a less common angle and supported it carefully. That taught the student that risk, when managed thoughtfully, can raise, not lower, your grade. This isn't just theory. Grading rubrics literally spell it out. They reward a strong thesis, logical development, quality evidence, critical engagement, and originality. That's why 2 different essays can both score high. The system isn't designed to crown one correct opinion. It's designed to test whether you can argue, support, and communicate effectively. Seeing the rubric next to the UK essays model drove home the point. You're being graded on how well you write, not whether you cracked some secret teacher code. Perhaps the biggest takeaway wasn't technical at all. It was confidence. Trusting your own ideas is hard, especially when you feel pressure to get it right. But this student realized that confidence grows when you see clear examples, like the models UK essays provides, that show multiple approaches can succeed. It doesn't mean ignoring feedback. It means valuing your own perspective as part of the academic conversation. That shift, from fear to trust, can change not only how you write essays, but how you approach learning itself. At the Review Network, our assessment is straightforward. ukessays.com helped this student break out of the trap of perfectionism. By showing that essays aren't about guessing one right answer, but about thinking, structuring, and defending your view, it turned panic into clarity. Pros: flexible structures, authentic voices, and examples that highlight critical thinking. Cons: the cost is higher than budget services, and not every student may feel comfortable paying for model essays. But the lesson? Priceless. The right essay isn't the one that pleases your teacher. It's the one that argues a point clearly, backs it with evidence, and shows how you think. Thanks for watching the Review Network. If you've ever stressed about getting it right in essays, tell us in the comments how you dealt with it. And don't forget to subscribe for more impartial reviews and insights from the Review Network.